Hi, welcome back. It's that political dude, and today I want to talk about the rise in populism. We live in the 21st century, never have the divide between the rich and poor been so big, and looking at the current parties in power is like attending a circus. Crime rates, poverty, immigration, and the state of the economy all seem to be in shambles, and out of the ashes a phoenix emerges, promising to change everything for the better. There will be no more corruption, there'll be no more clowns running the circus, and we are returning to family values, Christian values, or maybe European values or Hindu values. It doesn't matter where they all promise the same thing: a reform of a dysfunctional system. India's Narendra Modi, Trump, Georgia Meloni, Javier Milei, and potentially Marine Le Pen in France, and Nigel Farage of the Reform Party are all populists. But what if I tell you that the economy will not do better under them in the long run? What if I tell you that you could lose your liberty in the future? Will you still vote for them? Populist leaders often focus on the immediate, high visible solutions to satisfy popular demand and maintain their political support. These solutions might not be beneficial in the long run, and often they are quite damaging. To sell your case, you need a bogeyman. In the early 2010s, barely anyone had heard of the term Brexit, but by 2016, the popularity of the term has increased by 3,400% in the same year, and suddenly the EU was to blame for all of the problems in the UK. Instead of solving the migrant crisis, the number of new asylum seekers has continued to rise, the economy is still in managed decline, and now key industries are losing valuable EU customers, MNCs are moving their headquarters from London to other EU countries. In hindsight, nothing has changed, and things seem to have gotten worse. An independent report by Cambridge Econometrics stated that London has almost 300,000 fewer jobs and nationwide 2 million fewer jobs as a direct consequence of Brexit, and an average Brit has £2,000 less right now than they would have if they remained in the EU. Also, populists often appeal to nationalist sentiment by advocating for protectionist trade policies such as tariffs and trade barriers and isolationism. You can see this with Trump pursuing a policy of disengagement from several major international agreements like leaving the Paris Accords, changing the terms of the NAFTA, which helped car manufacturers in the US in the short term, but will make the US auto industry more inefficient and reliant on government subsidies, and it will lead to cars becoming more expensive in the future. Finally, with Trump's isolationist views on stopping arms to Ukraine and forcing NATO members to pay up, it will significantly impact the US's own power projection, and it sends a signal to its strong allies that the US cannot be trusted to come to save them when they are being attacked. It will severely hamper America's position as a superpower and accelerate the country's decline. Many populist leaders also undermine independent institutions like central banks, judiciary systems, and regulatory agencies, viewing them as obstacles to their policies. For example, under Viktor Orban, media groups controlled by oligarchs close to him flourished, and his party, Fidesz, interfered with independent outlets such as Index, once Hungary's largest independent news site, and reduced the scope and independence of the Constitutional Court of Hungary, curbing its ability to review laws passed by the government. The party also packed the court with judges loyal to Fidesz, weakening judicial oversight of the government's actions. Without strong institutions, the economic environment becomes less predictable, discouraging investments and growth. The EU legal challenges and the potential for sanctions against Hungary have led to less EU funding for the country, and in 2022, EU funds for Hungary from 2021 to 2027, which amounts to 6.3 billion euros, were frozen. While populist measures can provide short-term relief to certain sectors, they can hurt overall economic growth by reducing competition and innovation, increasing the cost for consumers, and limiting access to foreign markets. In the long run, their popular policies of putting their own people first can stifle innovation and harm economic efficiency, making the country even less competitive on the world stage. When these protective measures fall apart, the entire industry and all the jobs and the economy will go down with them. They would lie to gain power. It's all about concentrating power in the hands of one person or one party. Promised prosperity turns into hardship, and democratic backsliding becomes a reality. But it doesn't have to end this way. Democracy is fragile, but it's also resilient. The solution is not populism. It's protecting the very institutions that hold leaders accountable, promoting real dialogue, and fighting for transparency, and fighting for change. Subscribe, stay alert, and I'll catch you in the next one.